This is AP News Minute. The United States and Iran reached an initial agreement aimed at ending their war and reopening the Strait of Hormuz. The details were not immediately released. However, it gives 60 days to resolve what to do about Iran's stockpile of highly enriched uranium and its atomic program. Pakistan says it will be signed on Friday in Switzerland. President Donald Trump left for the G7 summit in France early Monday. On Sunday, he celebrated his 80th birthday by hosting a UFC cage fighting event on the White House lawn. Ukraine's Air Force says Russia launched dozens of missiles and hundreds of drones at several cities in Ukraine. The attack killed people in at least 2 cities and sparked a fire at a centuries-old religious site. A pilot and 11 skydivers were killed on Sunday when their plane crashed in western Missouri. The plane went down shortly after taking off.
In Decatur, Scottsboro getting almost 0.6 of an inch there. But we are going to see a brief break in overall widespread rain chances for Monday and Tuesday. I think the majority, if not all locations, will try to stay dry. I can't rule out a couple of rogue showers out there, but then we start to see things scaling up as we head into the latter part of the work week. And we'll get to what's causing that in just a moment, but we'll take it day by day here, starting with this. So for tomorrow and on Tuesday, that frontal boundary was really a nice help as far as lowering the humidity down. We went from very humid conditions in the 70 to 75 degree range, that's the dew point value, the measure of moisture in the atmosphere, down into the 60 to 65 degree range. Still a little humid, but much more tolerable, especially with those temperatures topping out around 10 degrees cooler than where they should be for this time of the year. But as I mentioned, it is short-lived. The stationary boundary is going to create some problems where it is close enough that it could quickly lift back northward. And I think at this point here, our model data might be a little too generous with the overall rainfall intrusion back off towards the north. I can't rule it out, but I think it's going to be at least more isolated in coverage. But that's certainly a possibility on Tuesday. Now, as we continue towards Wednesday and Thursday, we are going to see at least some systems coming in from back off towards the west, an actual tropical system that could help encourage a big wave of moisture to come in. So we're going to be watching that closely as we continue on into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. This system has not generated yet, but we are going to be watching that closely to see how that does play out over the coming days and the impact to the deep south, because you can see that wave of rainfall just to our south could be anywhere from 3 to 5 inches, 2 to 3 here for northern Alabama. Back to the top of the forecast tonight, those temperatures will be in the 60s out there. We will only warm into the lower 80s and upper 70s for tomorrow. Not too bad of a forecast. Then your 7-day shows those rain chances picking back up. Pretty decent Thursday and Friday, back down to 20% by Saturday.
The Alabama Republican Party has made a historic final decision in the high-stakes residency challenge, threatening to upend the race for governor. Following an hours-long closed-door hearing in Birmingham today, the panel declared Senator Tommy Tuberville fully eligible, unanimously dismissing the dispute to keep the primary winner squarely on the November ballot. But this fierce residency battle did not start overnight. The seeds were planted during last month's gubernatorial primary, where Senator Tuberville dominated the ballot with an overwhelming 85% of the votes. But runner-up challenger Ken McVitters refused to cede the race, escalating a multi-month legal campaign accusing the senator of being a Florida man who actually resides in the Sunshine State. Fox 54's Logan Alexander Russell shares with us what was said during the press conference after.
After hours of sworn testimony and legal deliberations, Alabama GOP Chairman Scott Staghagen stepped to the podium to announce that Coach Tommy Tuberville has been completely cleared. The Sunday dispute put a formal residency challenge against the eligibility of U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville. The committee's verdict followed a thorough and impartial review of evidence and sworn testimony presented by opposing sides during an hours-long hearing.
We went and deliberated, and then from that, we came to a decision. It was a unanimous decision with the steering committee members, and like I said previously, we looked at this with a blank page, no partisan. We looked at it with the facts. And The contest was unsuccessful, and Coach Tuberville will be our nominee for governor.
In a statement, the chairman expanded on the ruling, stating that the coach fully established his residency beyond any doubt.
Under my leadership as chairman of the Republican Party, we will stand on integrity, on strong morals, on truth, and most importantly, we will always do what's right. My favorite Bible verse is Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, so as one man sharpens another.
The chairman also stated that it is now time to firmly close and lock this chapter and turn the party's full attention toward defeating Democrat Doug Jones in November. In Hoover, Logan Alexandra Russell, Fox 54 News.
Yes, now don't forget, primary runoff elections happen on Tuesday. Voters will see multiple races on the ballots as candidates fight for a spot in November's general election. On the Republican side, that includes races for U.S. Senate, Lieutenant Governor, and Attorney General. For Democrats, the U.S. Senate race is on the ballot along with the U.S. House District 5 race. For a full look at what's on your ballot, you can find county-by-county sample ballots on fox54.com.
All right, everyone, World Cup action beginning on Thursday with Mexico beating South Africa. 24 hours later, the USA men's national team took the field and they had an impressive showing in their opener. Team USA cruising past Paraguay 4-1 on Friday. For the first time in history, the U.S. squad scored 4 goals in a single World Cup game. They were on the attack for most of the game, and it was coordinated and entertaining. Of course, the victory by the home squad gave soccer fans here in the States a reason for hope. For a recap of this contest, let's check in with Coy Wire.
The atmosphere was electric, like a Super Bowl crowd that found the turbo button. It was a sellout, 70,000 plus, bringing the volume from the jump. And the celebrity spotting, almost as entertaining as the match. Katy Perry sang before the match. You had Beckham, Tom Cruise, Halle Berry, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and then Christian Pulisic took center stage. Captain America forced an own goal early, then threaded a ridiculous nutmeg assist to Valerian Balogun. And as for Balogun, the man came in firing. A laser off the left foot, a brace before halftime to make it 3-0, and a statement for the U.S. Now, Paraguay scored once, tried to make it ugly. The Americans made it look beautiful. Scoring again through Gio Reyna, 4 goals, most ever by Americans in a World Cup game. Flo Balogun says this is something he's visualized.
I visualized, my debut, in the World Cup scoring. But yeah, the reality did surpass that with scoring 2 goals, and the second goal was a fantastic goal as well. So as I said, a very dreamy night.
Being in America, having this crowd around us, seeing the red, white, and blue, all our red and white striped shirts in the crowd, it's awesome. I mean, here at the USA chants, it's really pushing us forward. So we just hope it continues like that, and I'm sure it will. We're just thankful for it.
The U.S. played with swagger, already more goals in this World Cup than all 4 of their games in the last one combined. Mauricio Pochettino's squad looked like a team that's not just playing in a World Cup, they are planning to make some noise in it.
Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day topped the North American box office in its debut weekend. Emily Blunt describes her reaction upon first reading the script.
I was a bit overwhelmed when I read the script. I was like, this character is going to be a kaleidoscopic experience, Luckily, when you're directed by Steven Spielberg, you're kind of safe.
There's a lot of attention on us, and if we're not a solid group, then how are we going to withstand all the noise outside?
America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders is back. Season 3 of the reality series kicks off June 16th on Netflix.
Cool cats cruising a 70s flick, old school energy like 76 with the wide brim hats.
That's British jazz rap group Us 3 and their new song, Cool Cat. The new single features vocals by longtime collaborator Akil Dasan. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Fox 54 Plus has your news, sports, and weather Start your evening with Fox 54 at 5:30, delivering the latest headlines and live reports straight from the scene. Then, stay informed with Fox 54 News at 9, featuring your Tennessee Valley certified most accurate weather impact team, tracking everything from tornado threats to traffic delays during severe weather. Fox 54 Sports Extra brings you more of what sports fans crave, with deeper insights, expert analysis, and all the action that matters most. On Fox 54 Plus, you'll also find Alabama politics, plus 24/7 weather radar and real-time forecasts to keep you ahead of the storm. Looking for a quick recap? Don't miss Fox 54 Week in Review, highlighting the biggest stories of the week. Jumpstart your morning with Morning Rush. Fast-paced news updates featured with uplifting stories from across the globe. Get your entertainment fix with Getting Real, where we break down movie reviews, top 10 lists, and spotlight the newest film. Die Hard fan? Locked On Sports dives deep into the Crimson Tide, the Tigers, college rivalries, and pro action. True Crime Warrior Style? Killer Cases brings you gripping real-life stories that stick with you. Hungry for more? Cooking with Style serves up mouth-watering recipes that are easy to make and impossible to resist. From movie previews before you head to the theater with Take a Look to must-know headlines from across the region and around the world with In the News. Watch all of these shows on demand and also on the Fox 54 News app, available on Android and iOS devices, streaming 24/7.